What is up, nerds? I am Taylor. Welcome back to my channel, and this is my weekly comic book review show. Sometimes I'm cranky, sometimes I'm not. Today I've got a bone to pick with Ethan Hawke. That son of a bitch stole my hairdo to play a villain in the upcoming Moon Knight series. It's not true. He's had the same hairdo since the 90s. I copied him. Not really, I'm just lazy. I've let this grow out, and now I get hair in my mouth every time I eat pancakes. It's kind of not also true. I wear a hat and nothing else. Nothing else while I eat pancakes. All right, let's get into this. This is the worst to best weekly comic book reviews. Wednesday. When the hell day is this? Oh, yeah, February 16th, 2022. I might not be that cranky this week. We'll see. There was nothing horrible. Well, no, there was one book that was kind of horrible. And yeah, let's get into it. Screw it. Screw it. All right, worst. We have Marvel Voices Legacy #1. This is where Marvel pretends to care about, creators of color and gives them like little one-page things to do instead of giving them real stories. Maybe that's all. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing to this damn book. There's not a lot of story here. There's nothing worth getting. There's just kind of like little one-page vignettes, an artist interview and a writer interview, and then like a couple-page stories about Black Panther and stuff. But like, it is very sparse and light on content. It's $6. It's softbound. It's just not worth getting. Honestly, it's just kind of like, okay, Marvel, just let the creators do actually a real book instead of this crap. Just give them a real book to do. Real book, real series, real whatever. Not this goddamn pandering nonsense. And like they're coming out with like these every month or every 2 months, and I think they're trying to highlight things. That's their excuse. But like, you want to really highlight a creator? Let the creator shine. Let them flow. Let them do real crap, and not this. All right, I'm done. Next. Okay. Yeah, we have Venom number whatever the hell this is. 5. This is not horrible, but this is the Al Ewing issue. And it's kind of jarring because, like, Al Ewing's writing about Eddie Brock, and Ram V is writing about Dylan Brock, and then together it's the Venom title. And it kind of just feels like, okay, the latest Star Wars trilogy, how it didn't feel like a trilogy, how they're not really, like, it seemed like none of the creators talk to each other, there's no grand plan. That's how this feels with this issue. It's Eddie, and there's things that tie into the Dylan issue, but it's sort of like, it just seems like it's just undoing everything Ram V did. May not be the case. Maybe they are talking. I hope they're talking. I hope there's a grand plan. This just sort of seems like timey-wimey, spacey nonsense. With a new character for the sake of a new character, a couple new characters, and some kind of Al Ewing-y, sci-fi, garden-y stuff. It's not bad. It's just kind of like, it is just kind of a jarring transition from the Dylan Brock stuff. And it just doesn't feel like it belongs in the same title, which I think is probably going to be a thing going forward. Like, if they can manage to tie this all together, make it make a whole lot of sense between the two creators, I'll be impressed. But this issue, nah. It wasn't bad. It just kind of like felt like a whole different book. And I respect Brian Hitch as an artist. I think he's very competent, and that's what this feels like. It's just like there's a heavy inking style that goes on in this title that I don't think quite fits everything, and it's just a little bizarre to me. And his character designs all feel like a little too rounded and nice and kind of clean for a Venom title. I think Venom should be, more gross and slimy or whatever the hell. So it's all right. Next, yeah, we're gonna do this one. Iron Fist #1. This is the brand new Iron Fist, and you learn who the Iron Fist is. You learn the sort of origin story, but not really because it was a character that existed previously. So it's a previous origin story that if you don't have any idea what's going on in the Iron Fist mythos, this might not make a ton of sense. They try to give it, and they try to do it. A lot of this is an exposition dump, really, and they're trying to make it kind of an interesting thing, but not a ton happens in this issue, really. You get Danny Rand for a little bit. You get this the new Iron Fist for a little bit, explaining the new Iron Fistiness, kind of. And then, there's a last page sort of thing where it's like, oh, okay. But it's a pretty sparse issue. It's not horrible. The tone of this, I love all of it. It seems a little bit like writing down for a younger audience instead of just writing intelligently for a younger audience. A little bit. It's not as bad as some of the Marvel stuff that's been happening lately with that, but like this, I don't know. We'll see. I might give it one more issue. Again, it's not bad. It's probably we're in the fine section. Like either I'm getting better at not buying crappy books, or I'm getting nicer, or my facilities are going and I'm getting old, and everything is just about the same for me now. That's probably the latter. Yeah. Next we have this is the last issue I think of this. That's my guess. I don't know. It's a really bizarre kind of ending. It's regarding the matter of Oswald's body. I don't know what to think of this book. It started one way, it ended a different way, which is kind of how a story goes, right? But the ending of this is just kind of a weird one. Most of this is Oswald talking, and then it's not, and then it ends. It's a jarring ending. I think it's supposed to be a shocking kind of ending. I wasn't shocked by it. It's just kind of. I was expected to go a different direction. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting maybe something supernatural, maybe something a little bit more profound, maybe something, I don't know, just something. And there wasn't this. I don't know. There's some nugget missing here that I was hoping for, and it just kind of ended. I don't know. It's a bizarre one. If you've read this, let me know. Let me know what you thought about it. I'm undecided on this one. I might need a reread down the line, maybe. Next, we have The Fictionauts, #1. This is another interesting one. It's by Mantella and Rizzo and Blanco. It's from Stonebot Press. I don't know. This is an interesting enough book. There's characters that are designed to protect fiction, and it starts with them trying to like correct what might have gone wrong in Moby Dick. A little bit of a spoiler there, but then after that, it's a lot of talking, a whole lot of talking. A lot of sort of explanation and a couple bits and pieces that don't add up to much yet. It might turn into a very interesting story. It's an interesting idea. It's interesting characters, and you're introduced to these interesting characters all kind of, again, through an exposition dump. But does it add up to much as far as the story goes? Not really. And so for a book that's supposed to be about fiction and stories and writing and stuff, it just doesn't hold up that well as a story yet. It doesn't seem like they're writing for an issue. Like I got a feeling it might be better in trade, and I'm probably going to trade weight this and see. But for right now, it like I said, interesting idea, super fun concept, some cool other bits in here, but not quite enough, and it doesn't tie together very well. So, Fictionauts. All right, Primordial number whatever the heck this is. 6 is the last issue of this. It's another weird ending. I like Lemire's stuff generally. I don't know what to think about this one either. It's a very small ending for a very big book. And maybe that was the point of this. It's gorgeous, like everything else. It's the story itself for these 6 issues has been very sparse, and this is no different. It's a sparse ending to this. It's just kind of not what I was expecting on the ending. I know you're not supposed to always get what you expect in the ending of a story. I think if you get that, then it's probably a pretty poorly done story. But this sort of surprisingly small ending, it just kind of, I don't know if it worked. I don't know. If you've read this one too, let me know in the comments. I don't hate it. It's gorgeous, and like it might do better on a reread as a collection, but there's just not a whole lot into this whole story. And I like Lemire stuff, and I like Andres Sorrentino's art quite a bit, and it's great in this. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's a bizarre ending. Bizarrely in the scope of it. Yeah. And maybe there's a bigger scope I missed. There might be. I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. All right, next we have Crash Pad by Gary Panter. And this is a weird-ass book. Gary Panter's an underground cartoonist. He's been around forever. He was born, I think, in 1950 and, like, worked with, like, Robert Crumb and a bunch of other people. He did the sets on Pee-wee's Playhouse, where I think he probably met Wayne White, another artist. And this is sort of his love letter to underground comics, mixed with environmentalism, and it is weird as balls. Like, if you were to lick this comic, you'd probably get high. There's a lot of trippy, surreal imagery in here. A lot of trippy, surreal, stream of consciousness stuff at the beginning of the book, and sort of forms a coherent story kind of at the end. And there's a whole lot of, like, things that he's referencing at the last 2 pages in the back cover that are just kind of like where he's getting his, like, he's wearing his influences on his sleeve, and he's talking about things that have influenced him in his life in these little vignettes. It's really interesting. It's not going to be for everybody. The art is like it's very underground. It's and that's what he's known for. He does this stuff. It's a Fantagraphic Press book, which that's what they make. It's smaller than normal. I mean, it's a little bit like physically smaller. The dimensions are a little odd. I think it's like taken from his sketchbook, and it covers like the last four, like from 2017 to now. And I think it's just like highlights of things he's kind of scribbled, possibly while stoned out of his mind. I dug it. I don't know if I get all of it, and that's sort of my theme for this week. But yeah, it was good. I think. I don't know. There's an eyeball on it. Anything with an eyeball on the cover, probably good. And the fact that you can barely read the font that says Crash Pad, yeah, it's something. All right. Next, we have What's the Furthest Place from Here? Number 4. I don't understand this story either. Ross and Rosenberg are writing and drawing this really weird tale, and in here they talk about like theories as far as what has happened to humanity, and like the grown-ups. They don't explain any of it. There's a carnival in this issue. There's a fight scene. There's tiny little chapters. This probably also will read better as a collection. It's just kind of a strange little book. I'm still digging it, and I'm probably still going to pick it up as single issues. Just because it's such an interestingly fun ride, but I still don't understand it. They're all on the hunt for Sid, this character that left in the first issue, because she was either pregnant or growing up or both, and they just haven't found Sid necessarily. And they keep running afoul of these kids gangs keep running afoul of other kids gangs, and now there's a creepy carnival. I don't know. It's a strange book too. But I don't hate it. I just don't know what to think about it. I know you're coming here for these kind of concise, well thought, opinionated reviews, people, but it was a bizarre week. Mostly, we're getting a little more concrete as we go along, and I'm probably gonna switch. Yeah, I'm gonna switch these last two. All right, there's a couple left. Thor number 22. This is God of Hammers part 4. This is the Thor I kind of like. This is like big, bombastic adventure, over the top, like superheroes all coming to save some colossus, like gigantic threat. But then Nick Klein just paints. It's like a painted-ish issue. I mean, it's drawn. I think probably Matt Wilson I think is doing the coloring, but like it's just like makes Thor look so sad. And it's a little bit of bizarre tonally with the sad Thor. But it's Thor versus the God of Hammers. It's just kind of over-the-top action. It's like Donny Cates doing Donny Cates. It's just growing and growing and growing. I hope it sticks the landing. So far, that's been one of the flaws of Donny Cates, is he just can't stick the landing on a story ever, as far as I can tell. So we'll see how the next issue goes. This is part 4 or 5 of the God of Hammers. And yeah, not a ton actually really happens in here, honestly. There is a thing that happens that propels the story forward, and probably will have repercussions throughout the Thor mythos and the Thor story going forward, unless it doesn't. And there's these characters. There's a cool Beta Ray Bill drawing, and I don't even think half these characters are in this comic really, on this issue. But I don't know. It's fun Thor, fun but sad looking Thor. I don't know. Thor has sad eyes. All right. Next. Nightwing 89. This is the team up between Nightwing and Superman, the new Superman, not old Superman, Superman's kid, Jonathan and John, whatever. This one. Still drawn by Redondo, which is great. Written by Tom Taylor, who's writing both this and Superman. I probably am going to have to pick up Superman Son of Kal-El for the part 2, or to figure out the crossover. I don't actually mind that, because it's not crossing over with like 4 billion things. It's just crossing over between here and Superman, as near as I can tell. It's somebody's doing bad things to superheroes, and they have to team up to figure out how to stop it. And it's not going to change the world, but it's solid storytelling. It's fun. It's really well drawn. Batman has lollipops, you learn, and I dug it. Like, I'm really liking the Nightwing by Tom Taylor. I've not really read a lot of the Superman issues, but I might actually just read the Superman online. I don't know if I need to pick it up or on the DC Unlimited, but now you could do worse than Nightwing. It's a pretty solid book all the way, and it's better when Tom has control over it all. Like when it was like crossing over with that Fear State crap, it was still okay, but not fantastic. All right, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. This is my second to last book of the week. Yeah, this is a gorgeous book. Andrea Lima Araujo. His art is fantastic. Story-wise, it's a little bit light. And it has been from the get-go. But it's just such a really, really, really nice looking comic that it kind of makes up for it. And it sparks on the dialogue on purpose. It's sort of got that John Wick tone to it, meets like Old Boy, meets just kind of like, yeah, like a lean, mean action comic. And you learn a little bit more about the main character, not a ton. You learn kind of what's going on, mostly, sort of. And then it takes a twist, and you're like, holy crap. And it ends on a cliffhanger. It's like what I want out of this kind of comic. Got a cliffhanger ending. It's got some emotional resonance, and it's gorgeous. So, yeah, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance number, what is this? What did I say? I probably said. Can't remember. What issue is this? The hell is... Oh, 5. Number 5. Yeah, here we go. I'm on top of my game today, people. I'm on top of my game. Ethan Hawke steals my hair, and I lose it all of a sudden. All right. Finally, my favorite book of the week. And possibly another weird book. It's definitely a weird book, but whatever. Crimson Cage, number 3 of 5. This is Macbeth meets like low-level pro wrestling, written by John Lees with art by Alex Cormack and I think coloring by Ashley Cormack. It's a fun book. It's like if you've read Macbeth or you have a strong memory of Macbeth, you'll probably get more out of this. Or if you can watch the movies, you can do whatever. Macbeth's been covered since the times of Shakespeare, people. And this is like, yeah, Macbeth filtered through pro wrestling. It's not. That's it. It shouldn't work, but it does. And it's a lot of fun. There's ghosts, there's tragedy, there's comedy, there's wrestling. Lots of wrestling. And yeah, the main character is probably not going to end well because it's a Shakespearean drama. Just saying. It's the middle of the story. You could probably trade weight this, honestly. Because Crimson Cage, it'll be of 5. It's AWA shot, and I know they like to do 5 and then a sequel. I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull off a sequel this one. I got a feeling it's gonna be 5 and done. Because plays have endings, people. Plays have endings, not like comics that go on forever and ever and ever and ever. Like this video, forever and ever and ever and ever. There you have it. Kind of a light week for me. 14 books? 13? I don't know. Counting's hard. This many. Let me know if I missed any. Let me know if I should, bought some I shouldn't. I, definitely did. I always do. And just leave me some comments down below. Interact, people. Interact. I feed off of interaction. I don't. But hit the like button. Hit the subscribe bell. Hit the notification. All that fun stuff. It helps the channel. Hit the dislike if you're that one person that hits the dislike every week. I love you. I heart you. You're actually secretly helping the algorithm, probably. I don't know. I don't understand algorithms. I went to art school, not math school. See how long I can hold this awkward pause before I end it. Yeah, all right. That's all I've got. Don't be a dick, even if you don't understand math. See ya.